Greetings, hello, and welcome, watchers! The sun is shining and the magpie is casting, coming at you guys today with a live 1 versus 1 battle. Featuring, spawning in the east, it's going to be the United States forces of Helping Hands. And we're going to be looking in on the this is the Wehrmacht forces of Sungwook, who's going to be spawning over here in the west. So Helping Hands is most definitely a returning player, and I believe he's like pretty damn good at this game. I think I might have caught some of his games when he was playing in the Operation Charlie Fox tournament. Impressive stuff there. Yeah, we'll see what he's able to make of it. The map today is going to be, this is Kolodny Farmer Winter. Let's see, I mean it's this is just one of the most played, one of the most well-known maps in the game. The Winter version, of course, does feature the 2 victory points up in the north, 1 victory point down in the south. So a little bit of an asymmetrical distribution there. Let's see now. So the opening build orders. Helping Hands has chosen his commander straight away. He's gone for the armor company, which explains why he's got assault engineers on the field. So these guys are a natty little 4-man squad. Honestly, I'm not convinced that they're awesome. 280 manpower as well. They are more expensive than I thought. So let's see. They're effective at close range. They've got grease guns, as I recall, kind of like a stripped-down version of the Tommy. Let's see. Can they build? Well, they can build caches. They can build fighting positions, mines. So they can kind of build the things that regular engineers can build. And yeah, they're kind of like a close combat engineer squad, I guess. And riflemen joining the field thereafter. Seems like for the Wehrmacht forces, Sungwook has gone for 1 squad of grenadiers and after the other, so that'll be 2 squads of grenadiers. So yeah, we'll see what these players make of the game moving forward. Probably gonna have a scuffle here in mid. Everything looking pretty standard so far. Sungwook has actually chosen his commander. Oh wow, unorthodox. He has gone for the Lightning War Doctrine. Just hit spacebar, hit pause on the YouTube channel if you want to overview those abilities. They're all fairly standard abilities that you find in other doctrines, just put together in this commander. So looks like we've got grenadiers in heavy cover. They're going to be taking on the 5 riflemen who have the luxury of this church to fight from. So this should be a fight where the riflemen will win, but it actually seems like the DPS over time was favouring the grenadiers. That's very interesting. Obviously they are more accurate than the riflemen, and at long range, apparently even if they're both in heavy cover, the grenadiers are taking that one. Just going to have a little sip on my tea here. Jasmine Pearl, the tea of choice today. So whilst this game gets underway, I'll just apologise quickly because I haven't been uploading very many videos over the last few days. It's been a really busy time, great weekend, great fun, and got a lot on my plate with regards to work and that kind of thing at the moment. So if only I could spend my entire life casting Company of Heroes, then my god, actually, that would be some kind of like crazy hell now that I think about it, if that was the only thing I could do with my life. But anyway, I would like to spend a lot more time casting games. That's the moral of this crazy convoluted sentence. The next few days I've got a lot more free time, so probably I'll be uploading a lot more videos, I would have thought. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Looks like we've got a second MG42 team entering the field right now. Scuffle here in the south. Not really amounting to much. These rear echelon troops actually managing to down a grenadier despite being on like incredibly low health. That's like pretty rare stuff. Now here comes 2 squads of riflemen to bolster them here, and these grenadiers are going to be forced out of the capture region there. At the moment, only a 10-point difference between the 2 teams. Helping Hands taking the lead there was able to secure, I believe it was that south victory point for a very short amount of time. Claiming one of the northern victory points now, we have some pioneers, so that will help Helping Hands. Sorry, that'll help Sungwook get back into this game. Grenadiers picking off some riflemen there, using their long-range skills there. The rear echelon squad has fallen back. Probably floating a reasonable amount of manpower is Helping Hands, actually. Let's just go and take a look at the teching. So seems like we've got the lieutenant coming out. So that'll give him access to the M1 anti-tank gun, the pack howitzer, and the Stuart light tank. And we immediately see a pack howitzer on the build queue. So that was what that manpower bubble was about, I suspect. Sungwook. Let's just go take a quick look at the teching here for the Wehrmacht player. He has escalated to Battle Phase 1. No Leichter Mechanized Company as yet, so keep an eye out for that one. He may decide to try and skip it and go straight for the Support Armor Corps, escalate to Battle Phase 2, but we'll see. It's pretty unorthodox to do that, and if you do that, you normally tend to take a different commander, so I reckon he probably will build that Leichter Mechanized Company, and indeed, his pioneers are falling back right now, so perhaps they'll begin building that when they get back. Getting a little bit roasted and toasted on the way past. So anyway, yeah. I had a little think about doing the screaming death noises for the flamethrower deaths after the last video. I thought that was a great success in the name of science. However, I'm not so sure it made the cast of videos any better. So Twiglets, once again, thank you for the suggestion. But I think even Twiglets himself has admitted in the comments section it's probably not the best idea. So you know, it's one I might break out if I feel like it later. But for now, we're just gonna stop doing the screaming flamethrower deaths. Just letting you guys know. Just keeping you posted. You know. Keeping you posted there. There's another scuffle going down here. These are all pretty standard infantry scuffles. MG42 in a decent position. That's going to catch this rifleman squad in its heart. The riflemen, though, they are in heavy cover. And that's actually going to mean that they... Wow. Okay. Apparently they're getting suppressed very quickly. The MG42 must just have line of sight there. Anyway, here comes the first pack howitzer round. That's going to be a miss, but that's going to tip off the Wehrmacht player Sungwook that there is a pack howitzer out there. He's going to have to be a little more scarce with his weapon teams now. Well, his 2 machine gun teams, that's all his weapon teams. So he's going to have to be a little more crafty with them now. Keep him moving around. Of course, the thing is, once you spot a weapon team, of course, most players will instinctively grab their indirect piece, grab the barrage button. Here it is, high explosive barrage, and slap it down on the weapons team. So if you're clever, you can start sort of dodging those barrages by repositioning your weapons teams fairly frequently. Help to mitigate that damage. Oh wow, another good shell there landing. One man going to be able to escape there. In the north, a squad of these assault engineers who are in fact putting down a minefield are also capping this point away from Sungwook. That's a pretty smart move from HelpingHans. I'm liking that. That's going to put Sungwook back under the clock as well. And let's see. Do we have the Life the Mechanized Company? Yep, that was indeed established. Also got a bunker being built in double time by double engineers. Double grenadier squads here. So Sungwook now has access to Panzer Grenadiers, half tracks, scout cars, and the pack gun. So that should set him up for with all the tools he needs to move him into the early mid game now, which we're just kind of entering. Possibly it's a little early. This is kind of like the late early game. I don't know. It's very abstract concepts. The late, mid, and sort of late game. Early, mid, and late game. It's really characterized not so much by timing, but by what kind of units are out. So on some maps, the early game doesn't last so long. On other maps, it lasts longer. So you can take your pick as to how you want to classify that. But I would say that we're just moving into the mid game now. I mean, we've got a Stuart coming out. So the early mid game coming on. Pack howitzer and is that 2 pack howitzers? No, 1 pack howitzer. It's going to be putting down some fire on this MG42 in the building. That's probably going to force it to relocate. Wow, but these shots are not so accurate at the moment. HelpingHans being a little unlucky. Let's have a look at the veterancy on this pack howitzer. It's only got 1 kill so far, and it's quite low on veterancy, despite having been firing for some time. So, a little unlucky there. It's also exposed a little bit where it is, actually. If the German player was to get eyes on this, I suppose it's got the Stuart who can reposition to cover it if needs be, but if the German player gets eyes on this, a quick rifle grenade can wreak some real havoc, possibly even see it being stolen. These grenadiers need to fall back. This is a test of awareness there for Sungwook, but he's on the ball. He's going to get that squad out of there and maintain that veterancy on that unit, which is, of course, critical. And here comes the Stuart. Seems like HelpingHans has chosen to deploy the Stuart into mid. We'll see how effective that's going to be. It's going to initially put some pressure on this MG42 squad, which is fantastic actually. The squad's already on low health, so one of these shells could actually do some real work on this squad. In fact, it looks like he's positioning the Stuart for a rundown. Let's see if he's going to chase this squad down. He should. Here we go. Let's see if he gets the killing shot. Oh, that shell just missed. Sungwook there, making his cover save. Wow, that is pretty close stuff. Stuart's going to transition south. Sungwook sees it, falls back preemptively the machine gun squad, so that's going to survive. Meanwhile, in the north, Pioneers and Grenadiers tagging up to take the victory points. That's pretty important. Munitions point and centre being captured by riflemen. So kind of an exchange of points there at the moment. These riflemen also still on just 2 men. Going to start chewing up the points to the south. And the captain with his bazookas and Tommy gun, he's going to displace these engineers, which is probably just fine. Let's see if we've escalated to battle phase 2 yet. Nope, that is not a thing that has happened yet. The restriction at the moment being manpower. So look for a manpower bubble to build up for Sungwook, and he'll probably escalate to battle phase 2 at some point. And he's gone for some Panzer Grenadiers, who at the moment are positioned... actually, they're very close to this pack howitzer, and I'd be amazed if they don't make a run for that. There's a Pat Gun, which is hooning on the Stuart, doing good damage, gets one hit, only needs a couple more. Now the Stuart's going to come back to try and deflect, to try and parry these Panzer Grenadiers who are making a run for the Pack Howitzer. The Pack Howitzer has repositioned, so these Panzer Grenadiers probably going to be forced to fall back. At the moment they're just feeding veterancy. I would get them out of there right now. They're trading for damage with a rifle squad, but they're kind of getting hooned on by... Oh! And that is why you get them out right now. 4-man squads, ever fragile, and a good hit there from the Pack Howitzer, achieving 3 kills, upping the veterancy on that unit considerably. These Grenadiers also kind of beleaguered the flamethrower here, and you've got to feel like just a couple of things have just kind of gone unluckily there for Sungwook, and he's now kind of lost most of his field, and another, see, like a one shell just landing in the middle of this squad turns what was a decent offensive push to find the Pack Howitzer into an all-out fallback as the Pack Gun is scurrying to get out, and the Grenadiers are forced to fall back. And if I crack the tactical map, you can see that most of the Axis units have been pushed back into the base sector, so this is a real opportunity. This is pretty much the first tip of power right now for Helping Hands. He can move out, make a bit of a land grab, take his time, choose what units to get, and just get himself in order for to establish a siege, or at least push back the Wehrmacht forces when they come back out. So, using the Pack Gun to capture middle, though, that's a pretty good idea out of Sungwook. I like that, making the best of his bad position. Anyway, here comes an MG42. That's going to deploy in such a position as to try and hose down these engineers, though I believe it's going to need some kind of spotting. Yeah, unfortunately, it is going to need some sort of spotting. Now, there is a flamethrower on these guys, so this MG42 is playing with fire. You've got to be careful. Playing with fire, actually something weirdly that my mother always used to encourage me to do. Always used to give me boxes of matches to go and play with as a kid. I'm not even kidding, that's a real thing. Anyway, seems like this MG42 in a good position. These riflemen are going to be able to come through. They're going to push through to the victory point, which they're going to be able to get, unless this MG42 repositions. And I like repositioning it just behind the heavy cover of this tank. That puts it in a good position to cover like this area here, which is quite important. It's like the main transitioning point for the player who spawns in the east to come into this area of the map. And if you want to, you can just turn the MG very quickly, and it can cover this area once again. Anyway, as it is, it's still in a good position, so it's going to start hooning on these riflemen who are just trying to come out into the open here. This Pack Gun is still exposed though, and these this vehicle crew, hilariously enough, with the grease gun upgrade from the armor company commander, kind of trying to come in for a bit of damage, but as ever ineffective. I have to say, this passive elite vehicle cruise upgrade thing never really seems to do anything. Wow, the Pack Howitzer there getting the killing blow on a squad of Grenadiers, and Sungwook is kind of falling behind. The scoreline reflects this. He's down now, but he's at 374 under the 449 of the American forces. So there is a lead being opened up here. Now he's capping back 2 of the victory points, so he's doing his best to get out from under the clock. But he's got to be really careful. The Stuart is a genuine issue. He's gone up to 2 Pack Guns, which I think is like a worthwhile response. And you know that's going to answer American armor moving forward. It's not just about the Stuart. But his only other units really are 2 machine gun teams, some Pioneers and 2 Grenadiers. And out of those units, you know, 4 out of 7 units there are countered by this 1 Pack Howitzer, which is doing work. Did I say 1 Pack Howitzer? It seems to be firing very quickly. That was like 2 shells. Anyway. Oh, maybe 1 was from the Stuart. So, anyway, this Pack Gun is in a woeful position, and that will be forfeit. The flamethrower and the rifleman here are going to be more than enough to burn that one out. And Sungwook's position kind of becoming a little tenuous here. Let's take a look at the teching for the American player. So he has his major out on the field. Am I right? Am I right? No, sorry, that's his starting building. He doesn't have his major. My mistake. But he has the option to purchase the major. He has the fuel. He has the manpower. Have to imagine he's taken the armor company for a reason, though, and he's probably going to hold on to get the Wolverine and the Bulldozer Sherman. But you know what? That's not going to be a thing. Pardon me. Helping Hands there. Going to take the W as Sungwook's going to tap out. And you kind of have to feel like just a few bad sort of rolls of the dice there, combined with I don't know, like tactical and strategic positioning, which enabled those things to go wrong. You know, I have to feel like sending his Pack Gun in to die there was kind of a misclick. So I think Sungwook just kind of pretty frustrated with that game, and didn't really feel like playing from behind for the next sort of 10 or so minutes, which he'd probably have to do. So fair enough, you know. If you're just out there practicing on the ladder, sometimes you don't want to waste your energy on a game you don't think you're going to win. Sometimes you've got to pick your spot and fight for it. But I would say conversely, if you do skip out these games where you'd be fighting from behind, you never improve your skills at fighting from behind. And believe me, having good skills at fighting from behind is so important in Company of Heroes 2. It's incredibly important. So if I was Sungwook, I would say just stick it through, okay? Even if you're going to lose, just see how hard you can make it for your opponent. See how many of the bastards you can take down with you. Kind of see it that way. I don't know. That's what I do anyway. So anyway, yeah, a good game there from Helping Hands, taking the W in a very rapid 13 minutes and 24 seconds there, using just a decent multi-spectrum combined arms tactics. So yeah, pretty cool. So anyway, yep, I'm going to upload another video straight after this one, so stay tuned, and this is Magpie842 signing out.